Hey everybody, my name is Wyatt and I'm Ferda Tunes, and today I wanted to talk about an artist who has only enamored me the more and more I listen to him. At first I wasn't really sure how to feel overall about his sound, but this confusion very quickly turned into interest, which very quickly turned into an addiction. And as addicted as I am to his sound now, it still just intrigues and mystifies me so much. And for so many different reasons, so let's get into it. If you don't know Mach-Hommy, well, I don't really either. All I can figure is that he's a Haitian rapper who used to be fairly affiliated with Griselda, and from what I know, there was some sort of beef, and he branched out but continued to relentlessly drop project after project. He's weirdly secretive when it comes to his just overall public appearance, and especially on social media. He puts his projects out at ridiculous prices, like it's a fucking designer brand. Like I'm talking hundreds of dollars for just a standard physical copy. By the way, if y'all got any Mach-Hommy vinyl you wanna send to me, like, yo, you know where to find me. A lot of his best albums, and from my perspective, the two that are easily the highest acclaimed, they aren't on streaming services. I couldn't tell you why. But I can tell you that he has a ton of projects out, and even just in the last 5 years, like I said, he's relentlessly dropped. And yes, there's quite a few on streaming services that are definitely worth checking out, and I think nowadays that's most people's introduction to him. But don't be fooled by his Spotify page. His discography goes way back. I just have to mention, please correct me if I'm wrong on anything here. It is genuinely not easy to find detailed information on him. He doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. And I still feel like somewhat of a noob in terms of his whole discography. I thought this would be a dope video to do since I only really started listening to him just a few months ago, but I'm even shocked still at how addicted I am to his sound. And pretty much every project I've heard from him has been fire, and they only get insanely better with every listen. My personal favorite right now is... I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that, bro. Like, I just know I'm gonna embarrass myself. But man, I've talked about a lot of great late night albums, and I'll probably do a video on it at some point in the future. But man, this thing is incredible. It's super abstract rap and pretty lo-fi, with none other than Earl Sweatshirt producing most of the beats on here. It's a very short and sweet listen, but it is packed so tightly with off-the-wall flows, artsy effects, and some of the best sample loops I've heard in years. And it's all wrapped over Mach's hazy, kind of raspy delivery that adds this weird vintage feel, if that makes any sense. Embarrassment of Riches is a great taster for this tape. Its uplifting and smooth chops are just groovy as hell, and Mach just flies even higher than these soaring strings that just consistently loop up and down. My introduction to him was his album from last year, Mac's Hard Lemonade, and I immediately noticed the rich instrumentation in the beats that gave me that Griselda vibe, but like, if Griselda is the Mona Lisa, then Mach-Hommy's sound is like the Jackson Pollock or Pablo Picasso, some shit. I've been a fan of abstract rap for years, but I find it fairly rare to see it pulled off so consistent, smooth, and intricate. It's fairly easy on the ears. It's not like frustratingly complex or anything, but the more you listen to it, the more you'll realize how much there is to unpack. It was almost like overwhelming to me at first, which is weird to me because I've seen some people say he's boring, and I definitely see he's got a bit of a sleeper delivery like some rappers like Earl and Mavi. But I mean, who the fuck cares? Like, do you hear what's coming through? It can be kind of difficult to comprehend, especially what he's saying, but oh my god, it's glorious. Just listen to Squeaky Hinge if you're looking for a perfect taste. That's maybe the most essential track I would give people to put onto his sound. The most intriguing aspect of his sound, which admittedly kind of turned me off at first, is his no-holds-barred flow. He raps like a wordsmith on acid, just relentlessly, constantly spilling his brain with these sketchy wordplay and earworm bars and poetic fluff. It seemed messy to me at first, but I've since just chalked that up to me not being able to keep up with him or understand what he's saying. And he doesn't make it that easy. He took his lyrics off of Genius for whatever reason to make it more abstract, I guess. But in terms of picking a good introductory project for Mach-Hommy, I might have to say Wap Con Joji. I hope I'm pronouncing that okay. I'm probably not. This was the second project I heard from him, and I was even more bewildered, this time by the versatility. This shit is only 15 minutes long, and there's 6 or 7 songs, and each one is just vastly different, but it stays scary consistent. Mozambique Drill may be my favorite for its hypnotizing and almost dreamy atmosphere. Each project I've talked about so far is available on streaming services, and I really wouldn't miss checking them out if you haven't heard of him especially. You're at least going to be interested by what he's saying at the very least. Again, they're all very short, but packed so densely, and before I continue, Mach-Hommy fans would shut my channel down if I didn't mention the GAT, the Gospel According to. My good lord, I thought the other projects were packed tight and super dense. A fellow hip-hop Twitter account gave me a Dropbox link with literally dozens of Mach-Hommy files that weren't readily available, and I constantly heard about the GAT, so I downloaded it, and as much as I loved his other projects and as much as they were still growing on me actively, this was the project where I was like, okay, I really understand the hype now. Some people on Twitter praise him as this god MC, and I was like, yeah, like, you know, he's pretty great, but this project just basically blew everything I had heard out of the water. I can't even really go into details because I feel like I'm still trying to wrap my head around just how fucking incredible this album is, but like if you're into jazz rap or abstract rap, just underground rap, period, in the slightest, my god, you have to hear this. Like I've mentioned in my previous My Experience videos, I really set up a nice first listen for this. I knew it was going to be something special, or at least that's what everyone on Twitter led me to believe. So got a joint, real late night on the patio, nice, ooh. And literally for like 2 weeks after, I would listen to that album at least once every night after. It became my go-to for like late night walks. This was also when I realized, and this thought only grew stronger, is that he has one of the best ear for beats honestly I've maybe ever heard. It's insane how weird some of his production can get, but again, the more you listen to it, the more smooth it all comes, and it's... oh. Then I moved on to HBO, which did take a little longer to really blow me away like his other projects did. It's a lot more bloated, and it's easily his longest project that I've heard, sitting at a nice hour. This was when he was heavily linked with Griselda, and it's fairly easy to see how that kind of influenced his sound, but even back then you could tell he had it. The talent and skill was there, and it didn't take a genius to hear it, just a bit of a focused ear. He's earned respect and has worked with huge names in the underground and legends like DJ Muggs, Quelle Chris, Westside Gunn, MF Doom, and of course The Alchemist. Like I mentioned, Earl Sweatshirt has gassed him up so much publicly, and they have done so many great tracks together. I highly recommend people stop sleeping on Mach-Hommy. As weird as his public presence is, I really see him just getting a lot bigger and becoming somewhat of an overlord for the underground rap scene, if he isn't there already. His newest album, Pray for Haiti, came out today, and it's the first time he's linked with Westside Gunn since HBO, and it seems he's really taken a hold of this project, curating it and executive producing it. It seems they've struck gold again. Just last night, from like 7 p.m. up until the album dropped, I could not stop listening to Mach-Hommy. I was really on that hype train. Like, his shorter projects, I was literally listening to on repeat, and I finally got around to listening to Bulletproof Law, and I was literally like, what the fuck, man? Like, this guy really doesn't miss. His discography is fairly huge and still impresses me with projects that I still haven't heard yet. Every new one I listen to is another mind blow. But I can't stress enough how worth it is to dig through and find those files online, especially for stuff like The GAT and HBO. Like, it is insanely rewarding stuff. Again, please let me know on any information I may have missed or probably misinformed. Let me know your favorite Mach-Hommy project and why. I'm really split on The GAT and this one. Like I said, I'm still getting into his discography, so let me know the essential Mach-Hommy songs that I may be missing out on. And that's about all I have to say for now. If my love for his sound grows any stronger, like, it's weird. Like, he might be slipping into a top tier list, like, all time. Like, just the more I listen to him, the crazier his music is to me. I don't know how else to say it. Thanks so much for watching. You can follow me on Instagram, and please come talk some shit with me on Twitter. Subscribe to stay tuned. Much love, and stream Pray for Haiti.